Yes, and basically it's just satire. I mean, it's not to be taken seriously or whatever. It's about a guy who wakes up in the hospital and realizes he has a different body. I mean, not the body that he was used to beforehand. And how he got there, nobody knows. And then that voice inside his head says it's a positronic brain. So that's running parallel to his own identity and tells him to go find his kin. And kind of leads him through New York City or whatever that may be. But supposedly New York City, and then he comes to the Central Park and finds all these hundreds and thousands of other guys. They all look alike. And they are also all kind of androids, like he himself. And then they make him their leader. And they go to the internet nodes and whatever, and what they're actually doing then is they oust all the governments, regimes in the world and replace them by some of theirs or whatever, or in any other way take over the world completely. And supposedly there's no humans left afterwards, just these androids that are running around and who will rule the world in the future times, right? Which is a fictional story. No, the problem always is I've told that and that many stories, and then afterwards I don't even know what to tell big time anymore, you know. I mean, you've had all these subjects, you know, that you could possibly have, and then with this one I actually thought, yeah, you know, that's a weak story, but I mean, there's not so many people who know about these possibilities of transhumanism and stuff and whatever. And if that will ever come to pass or not. Even though I thought it's kind of a weak story, kind of, but it's so interesting for people who never heard about it. And then while doing the tracks, I was actually figuring or whatever, this could be a good part for the Guitarist or for the Hansen or for the Michael Weikath. And yeah, I mean, I kind of enjoyed the imagination of what it would be or could be, and then some parts were actually different afterwards, because the Dennis Ward, he had a different idea, or just like cut it up in pieces for him and him and him. But I'm just fine with the way it is, and I with the Robot King, I didn't actually know who would sing the chorus, but I was figuring the Guitarist as he does on that recording, and yeah, it was kind of strange, but also very interesting, and yeah. First there was it was called Live Forever. And then I was like, that's kind of cheesy. And the melody also was kind of different. If I would hum it now, somebody would steal it, so I don't hum it. And I was like, yeah, you can build all the song on this crappy melody. I mean, it's an amazing melody, but for me it was too weak. And I was like, no, you're not going to. Then I had like verses and bridges and riff and stuff. And then I was, yeah, and now after all, you don't like the chorus anymore. And then I variated it with different lyrics and different rhythms and segments of whatever. And still it was so phony and cheesy that I didn't like it. So the problem was I had to come up with an entirely different chorus for that one. And then I had a simplified version of it that went like, Robot King, ba ba ba, Robot King, ba ba ba. And I was like, okay, and that's your genius chorus in comparison to what you had before that you thought was phony and cheesy and not so good. Then I was, congratulations, now you kind of fucked up your song, you know, and you don't have a freaking chorus. So I went into brainstorming for 1.5 weeks. I mean, that chorus was fine, but then I was like, no, but it's, you know. And so it went on and on and on. And then I've been imagining Alex Harvey and people, blues singers and stuff, who would like shout, you know, with their saliva coming out of their mouths while they were barking things. And then I said, okay, you gotta put that rhythmically so it's kind of convincing that this is a British rock singer or whatever. And in fact, I envisioned that band Malice a little bit. And I think the previous parts, like the that's a vintage Judas Priest riff that quickly turns into some Uli Roth Scorpions thing. And then the verses and the bridge and everything is kind of Helloween, King Diamond, Scorpions, Priest. And then the chorus I thought was Malice, that American band. And then at some point I said, yeah, no, you know, this is cool now. This is kind of good. And then you had to add all these melodies of the guitar string solos and whatever. And yeah, whenever I got up and made breakfast in between February and April, I was always checking, you know, is this crap now or is it any good? And when there was something that I somehow disliked, I went to the editor and went like, you there, you go off. And then I replaced it with something that I like better. Yes, and basically it's just satire. I mean, it's not to be taken seriously or whatever, and I don't want to summon any dark spirits with it or what. Just like a creepy story, like these old American TV series, and then you go straight and yeah, see, this could happen if you don't watch out, kinda. But nothing intended there. It's all supposed to be on the fun side still. I'm not going dark or anything. It's just that, think about it. What if one day you wake up and just that. Well, for instance, with that guitar melody part that's a bit slower there, you know, I thought that could have been on the first Peter Gabriel album. And maybe Andy Summers could have played it or something. And I thought, yeah, that's a nice thing. Don't go too dark or whatever. It's romantic. It's mystical or whatever. You know, I'm not a fan of dark things at all. If I can avoid it. And you know, in the past, you know, I've been responsible for lots of cheesy stuff. What people said, yeah, but you know, that's not serious enough. That's no classic metal. And you know, because I've done so much of that, you know, I'm not so interested in doing any of it anymore, well, if not needed. So that's why.